Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I chose a bit different topic to talk about, as you can see from the title. Talking about beginning process. It's really exciting because of course it's a bit scary because you don't know where you're putting yourself into, but it's really exciting as well. Maybe buy some tools or something, just basic equipment that you would need, and you're sitting and you're like, what to do? Because there's so many things you can do in jewelry making in general, like really a lot of things. So to choose something and not to be like scared of that making process, you have to be kind of thoughtful what kind of tasks you can do. If I would take my personality, I'm like, on a go. I want this and that, and it's just like I want to be the best at that and at that. It's just like, it's too much. I understand. I get it. To put myself near the bench and make something like scraps and practice and try it out, and just to have that idea, this thing won't be finished and I won't get any result out of it, it just blows my mind. I can't work like that. I have to see the purpose of my making. But when you are a beginner, you don't know what you're doing. You have to like really touch that metal and understand what is happening with it. So you want a piece that you can actually finish and maybe have on your wrist or on your finger or something. What can you actually do and begin with, which I don't know why people don't talk about it. Handmade chain teach you so many things in one piece that really it does. It's not just my favorite thing to make in jewelry, and it's just like my comfort place actually, because sometimes if I'm like too over the place and I want to like make something that like keeps me grounded and excited again, chain is always the way to go. But it's not for everyone. I understand. Most of jewelers don't even make handmade chains. They buy it, they use it as components in their work. But I do my chains myself. If it's not like really small and dainty ones, because it's like impossible to make those. Chain is really the way to go when you want to start, because everything is fresh for you. So you want to have that basic understanding what is soldering about, what is sewing about, what is that tension about, hardening. Everything is in that one chain making. You really don't have to begin with really small rings. I want to show you my first chain I made. So when I'm saying that that chain doesn't have to be really small, I put a task for me here, as I see, with twisted wire, which I won't recommend from the first go when you're making the chain. And oval one as well, like what I was thinking. With round, it's way easier. And take not that thick wire, because still don't know what I was thinking. I would suggest take 1.5 millimeter wire or something like that. It's really easy to work with. It's really easy to bend and to correct if you're like not right or something. Even sewing is not too thick and not too thin, just sometimes you can bend it or something. So it's really nice gauge a wire you can work with. I really recommend to do silver chain. It's a process that you will have a result you can be excited about. You can mess around because you can make more jump rings and combine it into, it doesn't have to be like a necklace, it can be on the wrist as well. I know a lot of people begin with the ring, which they claim it's easiest part to do. It kind of makes sense because chains are small rings as well. You are just making a bunch of the rings at one go, but one ring band doesn't teach you like anything. When you have a chain, you have like a lot of different rings, and the chain doesn't have to be like perfect. You can have like different sizes of the rings. You can be even creative in that. To have a project that excites you to make is the most important part actually in jewelry making, because it keeps you going. Actually, it does. Making jewelry is not a joke. Like, you really get tired. You have to bend, your wrist tired as well. You feel the pain sometimes in your neck or the back. So to be excited about the project is really important. Really important. It keeps you going. It keeps you want to finish and to have all those steps made. And yeah, but if you don't need to like have full project from the beginning and you want to just get to know with your metal, your first task would be annealing. For that, I would recommend to buy a Sharpie. About Sharpie, I will talk more on separate video as well, but it's really nice tool to have when you want to understand when you did anneal the piece or when you did not. So you want to just scribe on your metal, just a bit of a line with a Sharpie, or sometimes I do faces just to keep me excited. Go around with your torch and warm it up until you see that your Sharpie is already fading. Don't wait until it's totally faded, because it fades quicker than you can see. Just look how it's starting to fade and it's just like, stop right there. Because we don't want a fire scale, because after that you can bring a fire scale, because we're not using any borax or something like that, just to protect your piece from getting a fire scale, which I will talk about more in different video, what I'm using for soldering. Just watch that metal, how that annealing process is going, like how the color is changing of the metal, because it's really good indicator when you are soldering, because after annealing, it's like really quick when your solder is melting as well, and whole piece can melt as well sometimes. Then we're putting that in our pickle, and that piece of silver is already workable again. It's soft. Drilling, sawing, and cutting wants harder metal. Another task, I would say, just melt some metal. I would suggest melt some bowls. It always works, it's always effective. We always use them in some kind of shape or form. So bowl making, it's quite of fun and, you know, enjoyable task as well, because you already have a piece of silver. Melting in general teach you a lot. You can see how that color is changing from annealing to that really hot temperature, and when you see that bowl is kind of melting in one piece, all the molecules want to come together and make perfect round, then it's just like, it's nice. Other task I could give you, play with your hammers. Really, like punch the piece, feel how it's hardening, feel how much you have to actually punch just to have not moving metal at all. Of course, if you will play with thinner metal, you can bend it quite a lot, and it's just hammering will be more. If you're working with thicker metal, it will harden quickly. Just play around with really get to knowing that metal. Just more you understand how the metal is processing, annealing, making softer, making harder. The more you do that, more you will understand what is happening with it, why it's not maybe soldering in the future or something, because those indicators will show you the way how the metal is like going. Really, you can just bend some scrap of silver, maybe take thinner wire, take thicker wire, and just bend in the same way, just to see how much and how different resistant is with different kind of gauges, because it is different. And when I'm talking about just play around with your metal, just bend it, make some texture with your hammers, like experiment. I can show you one of my first pieces I've made, which I really like. You know, I was so disappointed at that time 5 years ago, but I would really want to make it from silver again, like just to redo it from silver, because it's really looking nice, but I was really hard on myself. That's for sure. So I was sawing just the sheet and bending different sheet places in one or other side. Jewelry making is really an art, so just enjoy it and don't be hard on yourself. Just touch it, just bend it with your fingers, with your pliers. just do something with it, and everything you will do, it will give you some kind of practice and result for sure. More you will do, quicker you will get where you want to be. If you find something useful out of this, maybe just 2 words or just an idea for something, that makes me really happy. That's why we have this channel and we're growing, and I'm really thankful for every single one of you. So I hope you like it, and I will see you in my next one.